This is probably one of the most unique filament dryers that I have ever tried. And this is from Chitu Systems, and this is their E1 filament dryer. Now, if you are interested in this, over on their website, they're currently selling it for $159. And what makes this one of the most unique filament dryers that I've ever tried is that it has two individual chambers, and it'll let you dry up to 4 spools of filament at once, 4 1 kilogram spools of filament at once. So welcome to Figure Feedback. My name is Jeremy, and let me tell you a little bit more about this. Now check this out. It has these two individual compartments here. And then at the bottom, you have this base, and it's labeled 1 and 2. And then also, they both have their own individual fans. And then on the front, you have a touch screen that's going to let you control the temperature of each of these filament dry boxes. And when you choose to dry them, you can do it independently of each other. So you don't have to heat your filament at the same temperature for all 4 filaments. You can be drying PLA in one box and then PETG and another one, and then just have them drying at different temperatures. And that is really, really useful. It is very versatile, especially if you're trying to do some multi-material printing. Now, here's another thing about this system that I like, and that's really like the storage aspect of it all, because you can have this box here, and then you can have this box here, and then you just sort of stack them on top of each other, just like this, and just kind of get them out of the way. So if you have yourself some storage and whatnot, that you could easily take your boxes once they've dried, put them away, stack them on top of each other, and still have them be pretty neat so that you don't have to continue to have your filament just kind of strewn all about the place. Now, I'm not too sure if Chitu Systems sells just the boxes by themselves individually, but I think it would be a great idea if they did, so that you could continue to just stack boxes full of filament. So if you don't want to, you never have to take them out unless you want to switch the filament that is within them. Here's how the whole kind of system works. We got this latch system on the front that you can twist and just kind of open it up. So it goes back pretty far. And then there's also this humidity card that they also have in here. Now, I only have one humidity card, but it was supposed to come with 2. But it should be able to give you at a glance the relative humidity level that's inside of this box. And I have 2 rows of PLA filament down in here. It does not rotate as you're drying it. It just stays in one spot, but it does supposed to give you 360-degree circulation. And it does have a couple of spots inside of the box for desiccant, so you can put that in there. That also will help to keep things good and dry. And then when you are ready to print, you have a few different places that you can take the filament through. So you see, like right here, we got like these little plugs right here. You just simply take them out, and then you'll be able to run these little PTFE tubes, which they give you a pack of these. And this is approximately how long they are. So you can just kind of put those in there, and then you run the filament through those and then to your printer. And there are 4 spots total on each of these boxes where you can do that. So there's 2 on this side, and then there's 2 on the other side. And then you just simply put these back into place, and you will be ready to go. All right, so now let me take you over to the UI and show you what the screen looks like and what you can do from there. And by the way, in case I didn't mention it by now, this will heat up your filament up to 70 degrees Celsius. So it's definitely going to be good enough for most types of basic filament, so your PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, TPU, that kind of stuff. But if you need to dry some engineering, like some nice top tier engineering materials, then you're going to have to look for a filament dryer that can get higher than that for those purposes. But if you're just doing, relatively standard stuff, then this will be good enough for you. So I'm pretty happy that this screen was not an afterthought for Chitu Systems, because I think that is pretty easy to understand and figure out how to use. So you see up here, we have the number 1 highlighted, and that's going to be for the filament box that's in spot number 1. And then we can just hit that and take us over to slot number 2. And down here, we see that the current temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. It is not on. But if I do decide to turn this on, I do have it set to 45 degrees Celsius. That's going to be the temperature that it gets up to. The current humidity level is 46%. And then the total drying time for box number 1 is set to 4 hours. So if I hit this little paper icon down here, and you do have to kind of give it a little bit of a push. It's not as easy as your phone. It has some presets here for PLA and PTG, ABS, TPU, and ASA, and PA, PC, and HIPS. So it does that, and you could just select one, and then you can just hit apply. But if you don't want to use those particular presets, you can also just go into the settings here and you can change what you want the drying temperature to be. And as you can see here, the max is going to be 70 degrees Celsius. So you can just kind of choose what you want to do. And then you can also choose the amount of time that you want to dry your filament for, just in case you don't want to do the presets. Okay, so now we can come down here, and then here are some more presets that you can assign for yourself. There's 4 different ones that you can choose from for each of your boxes. So I haven't changed anything, so they're all going to be the same. But, you know, if I had a different set here and I said, well, for this one, I want the temperature to dry at, let's say, sorry about that. Let's say I wanted it to dry at not 506, but let's say 60 degrees Celsius. And I could just hit that, and then that'll be for 8 hours. So if I go to 1, you see it's back down to 50, but then when I go to 2, it'll be at 60. So you can also just change those so that you will be able to pick what you want just really quickly right there. And that's only for the first filament box, and then here's the one for the second filament box as well, or you can check them both off. So give you a little bit of versatility there. And then you got the system settings here. This can also be upgraded via firmware. I haven't been able to find the firmware file to see if there's anything to be upgraded, but you can do that because there's a USB-C port on the side. So if you wanted to upgrade your filament dryer's firmware, this is something that you can do on this as well. And then here's just page 2. I mean, it's just basically some regular settings. And then we got some automatic controls as well. So this does have automatic drying, which means that you can set a parameter for when you want this to automatically turn on once the humidity reaches a certain level. The system will constantly monitor the humidity inside the filament box. And if the humidity level is high, then the equipment will automatically start and keep drying until the humidity level drops to 25%. So you just keep this plugged in and keep your humidity levels steady. And then it also has this silent mode that you can use as well. And this is basically just going to run things a lot quieter, 30% quieter. But as a result, it's also going to make sure that it's going to take longer for you to complete your drying job. So if you are just kind of adverse to that noise, you can use that. And then you have the filament box identification function, which means that it's going to automatically know when one of these boxes has been placed on top of the main unit, and that is on by default. So yeah, once you have everything set up the way that you want, all you have to do is just hit the little play button right there. The fan automatically kicks on, and that was only for spot number 1, but I can just go to spot number 2 and you see that nothing's happening there, but I can just turn that on. And then I can hear the fan kick on in the other dry box as well. There's our countdown timer, and I can just stop that there, stop it immediately. Yes. Go here, stop, and okay. And it's going to take just a little bit of time for everything to just sort of ramp back down. And when your job is done, your drying time is done, the fans are still going to be on for a set period of time to just sort of facilitate that cool down process. But that's basically how this thing works. I mean, it's a simple little filament dry box, but it does have a decent amount of options. And the screen also articulates just a little bit. So at the end of the day, it's a filament dry box, and we know what they're supposed to do. They heat the filament, they take the moisture away, and they make sure that our prints can stay looking decent and that our adhesion can be pretty good and that our stringing is minimized and all of that good stuff. But this one just does it in a fancier and really quite interesting package as well. I haven't seen anything like this before that lets you just take boxes out completely and stack them on top of each other like that. And I also think that the UI was done pretty well. It's very easy to understand, nice color screen. It's not the easy capacitive touchscreen like you will find on your phone, but it gets the job done. And I've used this in combination with the FlashForge AD5X, using it to print, in this case, PETG straight from the filament dry box. And even with all of the retracting and going back and forth with filament changes, it still just worked out just fine. And an example of that will be this sort of chill Darth Vader figurine right here, which ironically I'm filming this on May the 4th. I did not plan that out, but yeah, this is what I printed from this dry box, and he came out looking, good. There wasn't any problems with it. He didn't look ugly coming off the build plate, and using PETG, especially in this space right here, where it's getting warmer, so the humidity levels are rising, it did a good job with that. So it's a filament dry box, what are you going to do? But if you are interested in this, once again, you can check out the Chitu Systems website. There's going to be a link in the description so that you can go there and take a look at it for yourself. Currently, $160. Don't know if the price is going to change, just like everything else you buy these days. But at least you'll know what the price was at this time. So that's it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.